Most seniors eat canned food at least 3 times a week, and most of them have no idea that one specific thing hiding inside those cans is quietly adding stress to their kidneys. Not in dramatic ways, not all at once, but consistently, meal after meal, week after week. And after 60, that kind of slow, silent buildup matters in a way it simply did not 20 years ago. I'm Grace Wells, kidney and diabetes health educator for older adults. And in this video, we are going to look at 5 very common canned foods, things that are probably sitting in your kitchen right now, and talk honestly about what's in them, why it matters for kidneys after 60, and what simple swaps can actually make a difference. Stay with me especially for number 3, because that one surprises almost everyone, and it is almost certainly in your pantry today. Let's start with the one that's in more kitchens over 60 than almost anything else. Canned soup. Warm, fast, familiar. On a cold afternoon when cooking feels like too much effort, it makes complete sense to reach for it. But here is what most people don't know. A single can of standard canned soup, 1 can, 1 bowl, can contain anywhere from 800 to over 1,400 milligrams of sodium. Let that land for a second. The general daily sodium limit for adults managing kidney health or blood pressure is around 1,500 to 2,300 milligrams for the entire day. Some doctors will tell their patients to aim even lower, so that 1 bowl of soup, before lunch, before dinner, before anything else you eat that day, can use up more than half of your entire daily budget in a single sitting. And here is the part that really catches people off guard. It is not the 1 bowl that is the problem, it is the pattern. Soup twice a week, 3 times a week, throughout winter. Those amounts compound. Your kidneys don't get to reset between meals. Why does sodium hit kidneys so hard? Your kidneys are responsible for filtering excess sodium out of your bloodstream and keeping your fluid balance stable. When sodium comes in consistently high, the kidneys are under consistent pressure. Over time, that contributes to elevated blood pressure, fluid retention, and for anyone already dealing with some reduction in kidney function, which becomes increasingly common after 60, it adds load to a system that is already working harder than it once did. Now here is the label trick most people miss. Many canned soups list their nutritional information for half a can, so the sodium number you see on the label, for most people eating a full portion, you need to double it. That 480 milligrams listed becomes 960 before you've added anything else to your day. What to do? Look for low sodium or no salt added versions on the same shelf. They exist in most major grocery stores and cost roughly the same. Your taste buds adjust within a few weeks. Add your own herbs, a squeeze of lemon, cracked pepper, and you get the flavor without the sodium load. And if soup is a real staple for you, which it is for many seniors, especially those living alone, a batch of homemade soup on Sunday, portioned and frozen, gives you that same warmth and convenience with full control over what goes in it. No hidden ingredients, just food. If that made you think about the cans on your own shelf, that's exactly the point. That awareness is the beginning of protecting your kidneys, and it costs nothing. Now this next one trips people up because the food itself is genuinely healthy. The problem is not the food, it is what the food is sitting in. Canned beans, kidney beans, black beans, chickpeas, pinto beans. These are excellent foods for most older adults. High in fiber, good for blood sugar management, solid plant-based protein. For seniors on a budget, beans are one of the most valuable things you can keep in your kitchen. But standard canned beans come packed in a salty brine, and that brine can carry anywhere from 300 to over 600 milligrams of sodium per half cup serving. If you're eating a full can portion, and which most people do, you're looking at twice that. And here is what makes this one feel unfair. You open the can, you use the beans, and you feel good about eating well. You have no idea the sodium came along for the ride. The fix is genuinely simple. Rinsing canned beans under cold running water for about 30 to 60 seconds removes a significant portion of that added sodium. Research suggests somewhere in the range of 40%. That is a real, measurable difference. 30 seconds at the sink. Even better, look for no salt added canned beans. Same bean, same price, same shelf, just without the sodium in the liquid. This is one of the easiest swaps in this entire video. One additional note for anyone whose doctor has flagged their potassium levels. Beans are naturally higher in potassium, which is perfectly fine for most people. But if your lab results have shown elevated potassium, or if your doctor has specifically mentioned watching it, that's a conversation to have before making beans a daily staple. Rinsing helps with potassium as well, but potassium management depends on your individual lab values and kidney function stage, and that guidance should come from your doctor or a renal dietitian who knows your numbers. For most seniors, beans are genuinely a friend. Just choose them with intention. Now we've reached the one that genuinely surprises people. When most seniors think about what in their kitchen might be risky for their kidneys, they think about soup. Maybe salty snacks. They almost never think about this one. Canned meats, tuna, salmon, chicken, sardines, corned beef, those convenient pull-tab cans that make a quick lunch possible without any real cooking. For older adults living alone, canned meats are a genuinely practical protein source. I understand exactly why they are a staple, but this category carries a concern that goes beyond sodium. And that second concern is the one most people have never heard of. Let's start with sodium. A standard can of tuna in brine, 300 to 400 milligrams per serving. Canned chicken, often higher. Processed canned meats like corned beef or Spam, 700 to 900 milligrams or more in a single portion. But the bigger issue, and this is the one I really want you to hear, is phosphorus additives. Many canned and processed meats contain added phosphorus compounds. You'll see them in the ingredients list as sodium phosphate, calcium phosphate, or simply the word phosphate. They are used as preservatives and to improve texture. And here is what makes them uniquely concerning for kidneys. Phosphorus additives from processed foods are absorbed by the body at a significantly higher rate than the natural phosphorus found in whole foods like chicken breast or fresh fish. For someone with fully healthy kidneys, the body manages this. But for someone with even mild reduction in kidney function, which is more common after 60 than most people realize, often with no obvious symptoms at all, phosphorus that isn't properly filtered can accumulate in the blood over time. And elevated phosphorus levels are linked to effects on bone health, cardiovascular strain, and further kidney stress. The practical step here is a simple habit. When you pick up any canned meat, read the ingredients list, not just the sodium number. Look for added phosphates. If you see them, try a different brand without them. Many good quality canned fish have clean, short ingredient lists. Choose tuna or salmon packed in water rather than brine, and look for options where the only ingredients are the fish, water, and perhaps a small amount of salt. That label habit takes 10 seconds and matters more than most people know. We are halfway through this list, and I want to say something directly. None of what we're talking about today is about fear. It is about being equipped. Knowing what to look for on a label is a skill. And once you have it, you use it every time you shop without stress, without overthinking it. And if this is the kind of clear, practical kidney guidance you wish someone had explained to you earlier, you may want to stay with this channel, because this is exactly what I'm here for. The next one on this list looks like a time saver, and it is. That's exactly why it's a problem. Canned pasta meals, canned ravioli, spaghetti with sauce, macaroni and cheese in a can, ready-made stews with noodles or rice. These were designed to be quick, filling, and cheap. And for generations of seniors, they are deeply familiar comfort food. But when you look at what's actually in them, the picture changes fast. A standard can of pasta and tomato sauce can carry 700 to 900 milligrams of sodium in a single can. Some of the larger multi-portion versions go well past 1,000. And that's before you consider anything else eaten that day. But sodium is only part of the issue here. Canned pasta meals frequently combine several problems at once. Added phosphate compounds in the sauce or the cheese component. High sugar content in sweetened tomato sauces, sometimes more than you'd expect. And a heavy load of refined carbohydrates that can cause significant blood sugar spikes. For older adults managing both kidney health and blood sugar, and the two conditions appear together more often than not after 60, that combination matters. A meal that spikes glucose, delivers a high sodium load, and contains phosphate additives creates a more significant challenge for the body than any single ingredient would on its own. The alternatives here don't require cooking skill or extra time. A can of low-sodium salmon with a handful of frozen vegetables. A bowl of no-salt-added bean soup with a slice of whole grain bread. These come together in minutes and treat the body fundamentally differently than a can of pasta from the shelf. If canned pasta meals have been a regular go-to, and they are for many seniors for completely understandable reasons, this is not about guilt. It is about knowing you have better options that are just as easy. Now the last one, and I want you to pay attention here because this is the one that almost nobody sees coming. When people hear kidney risk from food, they think sodium. They think processed food. They think obvious things. They almost never think about this. Canned vegetables. I know what you're thinking. Vegetables are good for you, and they are. That is absolutely true. The problem is not the vegetable. The problem is what it's been packed in. Most standard canned vegetables, corn, green beans, peas, tomatoes, beets, mixed vegetables, are packed in a salted brine. And because vegetables feel like the healthy choice, most people pour them straight from the can into the pot, the pan, or the plate without a second thought. A half cup of canned corn and brine, up to 300 milligrams of sodium. Canned peas, similar. Canned tomatoes, which go into homemade sauces, soups, and stews, often contain added salt that significantly raises the sodium of a meal you thought of as cooking from scratch. For seniors who add canned vegetables to multiple dishes throughout the week, which is common because it is genuinely practical, the sodium from the vegetables alone adds up more than most people ever account for. Here is what to do. First, rinse. Open the can, drain the liquid, run cold water through the vegetables for 30 seconds in a colander. This is one of the most underused and most effective habits a senior can build for kidney health. It takes no extra time. It removes a meaningful amount of both sodium and potassium from the surface of the vegetables. Second, look for no salt-added versions. Almost every major grocery store carries them for the most common vegetables. The vegetable inside is identical. The only difference is what it's packed in. Third, and this is worth considering as a regular habit, frozen vegetables with no added sauce or seasoning are often simply the better choice. Frozen vegetables are typically just the vegetable. No brine, no added sodium, no phosphate additives. They keep for months. They cost about the same as canned. And for seniors specifically looking to manage their overall sodium load, building a habit of frozen over canned for vegetables is one of the most quietly powerful shifts available. For anyone managing kidney disease at a specific stage, or who has been told by their doctor to monitor potassium, the guidance on which vegetables to choose and how much to eat should come from your doctor or a renal dietitian. Potassium content varies significantly between vegetables, and your kidney function stage changes what applies to you personally. This is not a one-size-fits-all situation. So here is where we land. 5 canned foods, soups, beans and brine, canned meats with phosphate additives, canned pasta meals, and canned vegetables in salted liquid. None of them need to disappear from your life. Every single one has a better version available on the same shelf at roughly the same price if you know what to look for. The one action I would ask you to take this week is this. The next time you open your pantry, pick up any one can and read the sodium on the label. That's it. Not to panic. Not to throw it away. Just to know. Because the moment you know what the number actually is, you start making better choices, and those choices compound over time just as the damage from consistently high sodium does. If the sodium is high, try the low sodium version next time. If the ingredients list contains added phosphates, look for a brand without them. If it is something you eat several times a week, consider whether a frozen or homemade swap could work even once or twice. Small habits, consistent repetition, real protection. If you are already living with kidney disease at any stage or managing diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart failure alongside kidney concerns, please do not make significant dietary changes based on this video or any video without speaking to your doctor or a renal dietitian first. Your specific lab values, your kidney function stage, your current medications. All of that determines what applies to you. A renal dietitian can work with your actual numbers and give you guidance tailored to your body, not a general population. That is the kind of support that makes a real difference. Before I go, I want to ask you something. Which canned food is always in your pantry? Tell me in the comments below. There is no wrong answer. But when you share, someone else reading those comments may realize they have been doing the same thing. And that one moment of recognition might be exactly what helps them ask a better question at their next doctor visit. Your answer matters more than you think. And if this video gave you even one thing to look at differently, one label to read, one swap to try, one question to bring to your doctor, then this video did its job. If this is the kind of honest, practical kidney health guidance you have been looking for, and you want more of it made specifically for adults over 60, this channel is where I put it. I'd be glad to have you here. Take care of yourself. Your kidneys have been working for you every single day for over 6 decades. A little attention now goes a long way.